Hi guys, this is Madhavan.
And this is Raju Hirani.
If you didn't know that,
and you're watching us both on
Bollywood Hungama.
Well, it's a huge honor and privilege to have one of the finest writer-filmmakers of all times, Raju Hirani, and a hugely talented Madhavan with us. A huge pleasure to have you guys on Bollywood Hungama, first of all. Saala Khadoos is a production that is coming up of Mr. Hirani, and Madhavan is looking very, very interesting, I must say. You know, you are very good in Tanuved's Manu Returns, but I think it's a total personality shift when you see the promo of Saala Khadoos. You're looking very, very different, actually.
Thank you.
And very impressive.
I'm going to take that as a compliment.
No, honestly. So I think you're looking very different from what you did in Tanuved's Manu Returns. So what different have you done?
So Tanuved's Manu was a film where I had to, just an extension of the earlier character that I had done. So it had to be this docile, middle-aged husband. And even in my life, I was beginning to feel like that. So I decided that, enough is enough. I wanted to do a huge change. Enough of being this nice guy, and because the audience will take you for granted. So I decided to take a leap of faith. I got a script that allowed me to explore what I'm capable of doing at this age, and I just bet it with all my might. And so I had to look like a retired boxer in this film. I built up my physique, wanted to know how broad my shoulders could become and how mean I could look. And the final touch to the entire thing was given by Rajuji with the hairstyle, and I think that's made a difference.
Sir, you have this dialogue which comes in the beginning of the promo that कौन कहता है कि हिंदुस्तानियों में दम नहीं है, स्पोर्ट्स में से पॉलिटिक्स को हटा के तो देखो गली गली में चैंपियंस मिलेंगे. That's a very powerful statement to start with. Do you feel that that's one of the factors that India has not really achieved its potential? It's been individual performances mostly, but as a unit somewhere we are lacking, and that's one of the reasons.
When you look at it, 100 करोड़ लोगों का देश है और उसमें से चैंपियंस गिने तो बहुत ही you can count those on the fingers. So, and there's no reason that why shouldn't we have champions. So obviously there's something which is going wrong somewhere. It's not that we don't have the talent. We have talent in every bloody field, be it from IT to sports.
Absolutely.
It's just that we don't, I think, provide enough conditions. When you speak to the sports people, you look at the conditions they are working from, leave the like cricket and all are like different sports, I think, which are privileged sports, I feel, in India now. But the other sports, you look at the conditions they work in are really sad. Really sad. Ki the kind of training the people outside get, और ये training में ज़मीन आसमान का अंतर है. तो उसमें से अगर कोई एक champion निकल के आता है, I think salutes to that person कि in spite of all that odds, somebody becomes a champion. So this film is kind of a salute to those people. Women's boxing also. It's basically a film on women's boxing. We actually won the 2006 championship. And you look at the conditions, this film is a very realistic film which is inspired from many true stories. So you see the conditions they work in and you will realize कि यार इसमें से कैसे कोई champion निकल सकता है.
But there will be like obvious comparisons with the Mary Kom in recent times, because we've just had that film.
Used to it. When we were doing PK, there were comparisons, oh my God. But again, like that, PK had started much before Oh My God started. This film also, when we started, there was no Mary Kom. And I always get attracted to subjects which are unique in nature.
Sure.
So the reason for this was that when Mary came and narrated the story to me, I said, "Very interesting story, women's boxing. We've never seen a film on women's boxing." And a coach and a student, relationship as a boxer. तो वो हमने देखा ही नहीं था. I was very intrigued by the story. पर जब तक हमने बनानी शुरू की, हम बनाते हैं, फिर रीशूट करते हैं, तो उसमें तब तक एक और फिल्म बन के आ गई. But when I look at Mary Kom and when I see this, they are still vastly different.
When we are seeing, especially your body language somewhere, in a way it reminds me of that madness that you had in Rehna Tere Dil Mein. That pagalpan जो एक था आपके अंदर, that was अभी भी है. Obviously, it's obviously there, which many felt has gone slightly dormant in the phase of 3 Idiots too.
Yeah.
This one maybe. What is it that you've done differently in this? Is it Rajkumar Hirani who's getting something different out of you? Your director is Sudha Kongara, but I'm sure that being with him must be an experience in its own way in terms of guidance.
Yeah, I mean, having a support like Rajuji behind you is good enough excuse for you to, try and do whatever you want, because what we do is always for the sake of the film. And this aggression that you see in this guy, this frustration that you see, is born out of the situation that is existing in the country today. For example, women's boxing. So anybody who in an affluent family will never send their daughter out for boxing. That's not a sport. You want to send them for tennis, you want to send them for something else. So who are the kind of people who actually send these girls to go out and box? It's always the people from the ghettos. It's the easiest and the cheapest sport to do. आपने 150 रुपए के बॉक्सिंग ग्लव्स खरीद लिए, अगर आप में टैलेंट है तो आपने 2-4 मुक्के जमा दिए, you start winning a couple of rounds, you go to the national level and you get a government job.
Sure.
That's why you do boxing, and they move the family from the ghettos into the permanent houses that they can afford to do.
Right.
So this aggression that we have is against the system, which is not helping these people actually achieve what they're capable of completely. So Rehna Hai Tere Dil Mein demanded that sort of an aggression. This one demands 10 times more. So it was easy to slip into it, and you could take a chance because there was somebody like Raju supporting you completely.
We've had Chak De India where Shah Rukh played the coach somewhere, and that had, I think, a very interesting premise. That was about women's hockey. And why is it that women's sports are mostly not really taken seriously? Is it about the apathy that we have towards women in general in India, or because individual sports have been there, like a Sania Mirza has come, or like a Saina Nehwal, but it's more the family involved than the support that they must have got? What do you pinpoint
No, it's
that
not only
to?
about women's sport. I think generally sports as such are not taken very seriously in this country. It's always studies which get priority over. It's always physical fitness is always considered.
Education system. You've said in Three Idiots as well.
So I in fact know some people who are trying to now do things like marks for sports. They're saying unless you start giving marks for sports,
It's a must actually.
nobody will take sports seriously. And sport is actually a way of life. Unless this is what should be taught in schools, that be physically fit. If you are physically fit, you'll be able to really tackle a lot of problems of your life. You might be a great with your math and this thing, but you're not physically fit, then how will you deal with life? So unfortunately, in this country, I would say a poverty-stricken country if you look at from 47, we're always battling with economic conditions. So I think sports never got the priority it should get. So it's not about women's sports. Sports per se, I think, are secondary in our lives.
I think corruption has been a big responsible as well, because corruption in general and corruption in sports as well. A lot of money is granted, but it never really reaches the deserving.
Yes, of course. That is also.
You see that angle, the way you are having that with a certain sports officials. That surely happens.
Of course, it does happen. And I'm suddenly reminded of one Sharad Joshi, the great satirist we had. He once wrote about Olympics. तो उनका एक ऐसे है, उसमें बड़ी अच्छी लाइन उन्होंने लिखी है. उन्होंने कहा है कि भारत सभ्य लोगों का देश है. हम इतने तुच्छ नहीं है कि हम एक सोने के टुकड़े के लिए भागना शुरू कर दें.
क्या बात है?
It's a wonderful essay written by him. But yeah, I think that's a sad reality that sports has been secondary, and there's everything. Yeah, there's politics, there's corruption, there's mindset which puts sports.
Ritika Singh, she's playing the boxer. Apparently, she is a professional boxer in real life as well, and karate. I think she has learned, and she has performed at kickboxing. She has performed at I think that Raj Kundra's SFL as well. I think she's looking very, very good, and you guys also have like a romantic angle as well.
That you'll have to see the film.
That you'll have to see the film. Okay, but it's a very interesting sort of because. Many would say that tired of the regular romance and regular stories, and something unorthodox is something which is appealing. Is it in a way as well the USP of the movie as well, the sort of love-hate relationship that you guys share?
Absolutely. I mean, this film is about boxing. The background is boxing, but it's also largely a story about the relationship between these two people, who are actually outcasts from the society, underdogs. People who speak their mouth, who are radical, who have a passion for what they do, and therefore they stand out. And in most cases, they're also not accepted easily, because you're going to break the mold which everybody is comfortably settled down into. This girl is a fisherwoman, and she's from a small little ghetto in Chennai. This guy is from Rajasthan, and he is also hated in the boxing federation. So how these two really radical people who have absolutely nothing in common find boxing, and that particular sport takes them to glory. That's what the story is about, as well as the relationship between these two very broken people.
Actually, she's equally Khadoos in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
as
looks
he
like.
is.
Looks like.
She's equally Khadoos in the film, and the tough nut for this coach to crack her.
Yeah.
You're turning a producer, so you're having an interesting sort of competition with sex. With sex, actually, because Mastizaade is releasing along with you guys. You're a creative guy completely, so how are you dealing with those sort of...
You know, cinema actually I've never found. People keep saying, ये फिल्में रिलीज होंगी किसकी अच्छी करेगी. I don't find it competitive at all. Competition becomes when two people are running the same race, according to me. If two filmmakers make the same film, two actors do the same role, then you say who's good, who's better. When two different kinds of film release, I think there's market enough for, I think the people who are going to watch that are completely different from people who are going to watch this. So what numbers, what does, I don't think it really matters. It's completely different food on the table. Chinese food ho, Italian food ho, you can't say you're competing with it. It's completely matter of taste, who likes what people will go for. People who are...
Mastizaade is Chinese and you guys are Italian.
I don't know. I'm not... But that's a completely different film. It's a completely different film.
Sure, absolutely.
So I don't think we're competing with any film.
You have very interesting music in the movie as well, sir, and very interesting names of the... I'm sure Swanand Kirkire, I believe, has written the lyrics, and very interesting lyrics, and Saala Khadoos, the title track, the way he says that, Nanga Hu Main. I think that's very interestingly said. He is a brilliant lyricist. Pagli, Jhalli, Khunnas, and there's a song called Ladaku. Diliye Ladaku. Now something about the music, because it's a very interesting sort of music, and whatever I've heard, the lyrics I think surely stayed somewhere. Even Pagli, Jhalli, I think the lyrics are very good.
See, music has been done by Santosh Narayanan, who's based in Chennai.
Right.
And the first time actually I got to work with somebody from there.
It's releasing simultaneously in Tamil and Hindi.
Both the languages, yeah. And Swanand, I was very amazed by what Swanand is. Of course, I've worked with Swanand for so many films.
Ji, bilkul.
But something happened with this film, and we usually take very long time to rewrite. But this film, he actually cracked much faster than I thought he would. And he saw the film many times, whatever we had shot, and he sunk into the film, and he made every song, I would say, part of the storytelling. Now, even if you look at that, what you just said, Diliye Ladaku, it's a
Romantic song.
Romantic song. So Swanand's take was, this is romantic hai yaar, but romantic mein to wahi gaane, फिर वही typical words use करते हैं हम, दिल, सनम. He says it's about two boxers, a coach and a. You cannot make this like a regular love song.
Right.
So if you notice the kind of words he's used, he says दिल ये लड़ाकू, किसी से भिड़ गया ये आज, किसी से लड़ गया ये आज, हाँ दिल में हुआ घोटाला. So if you go through the lyrics, the words are combat words, but it's a love song. So it's a very, when you hear, he's used words which are boxing.
Brilliant.
That's why I think it stays in the mind somewhere, because that's what I told you. That
So he said, I don't want to make it a typical love song. And also his, Maddie's theme song, which is the title song. I love that song, the way he's written it. And which completely defines Maddie's character in the film. Of a recluse, of an aggressive guy. वो शुरू ही होता है ना, मैं जरा सा सिर फिरा राहों पे निडर चला, रग रग में खौला सा गुस्सा है मेरा, मुट्ठी में भींचा हुआ मुक्का है मेरा.
क्या बात.
हाँ, साला खड़ूस बोले तो क्या हुआ.
सही बात.
That's how involved my producer is.
No, I think
He's got everything pat, man.
Many would say that what has been your contribution in terms of writing, because you're a fabulous writer, your dialogues are excellent. What sort of contribution is there from you?
No, this script primarily was written by Sudha. Then Maddie also got involved in writing that. So when it came to me, it was already written. Over that, whatever I could contribute. Because I didn't really want to impose and change somebody else's vision. Because after do that, I might as well go and make it myself.
Sure.
So if somebody's come to you with a vision, you support that vision and, you know, from the periphery, try and help that person or say, this is what I feel. If you feel like adapting to it, fine. If you don't. Because finally, a film has to be one person's vision. If it becomes too many people's vision, then it's khichdi.
Absolutely.
But he's being very humble.
You
Because see, we had ideas and we wanted to say a particular thing. But to say it correctly to the audience that goes to watch the cinema today, there's nobody like him to hit the nail on the head.
Absolutely.
So even this title, Saala Khadoos, was Rajuji's idea. We had something else in mind. But when you hear it, it rings right. When you hear lines that you're talking about, for example, Gali Gali mein champion milenge, that politics, it's his line. We had an idea.
You know, when I heard
I've
it,
not written it.
I felt it that it must be.
I've not written it. As I said,
The idea was.
there's another dialogue writer, Manoj, who's written it. And,
Yeah.
the people, I sat with them and
Absolutely. So in fact, the fact that your name is associated with the film, that in itself within the industry and amongst people have that sort of credibility. That if his name is associated, so it must be something. I think which is like a huge thing. Not too many people can carry that off. One of your films, Rang De Basanti, is completing 10 years this 26th January. In the recent times, we've heard this dialogue that koi bhi mulk, koi bhi country great nahi hota hai, usse great banana padta hai. In the context, the way when Aamir's statement came out, the way it was interpreted, misinterpreted, twisted, and the entire thing happened. What was your reaction like? Because what you're trying to say in that dialogue was that कोई भी मुल्क perfect नहीं होता है, उसको कोशिश करनी चाहिए that and if you love something, then only you'd want to improve upon that. But the way it was interpreted was something else. Does this sort of misinterpretation and misquoting, does it bother you?
Just talking about it bothers me. I don't think it requires to be talked about. It is somebody's opinion and somebody else's opinion about what it is. It doesn't change the state of the country. And India is a solid country, it will remain like that. But I was upset that, there were floods going on in Chennai and all the media people were concentrating on talking about this and nobody thought about how many people were getting, drowned and facing so much of difficulty at that point of time. So I just thought the priorities were misplaced and I think that's what we kept tweeting. What everybody says, it's you have to respect everybody's opinion and I don't think I should comment on it also because it just rakes up something which I felt in the first place was completely useless.
Absolutely. So what about you? Because we constantly just hearing all these comments that Aamir ne Hindu gods ko ke bare mein bola PK mein and all these things, because somewhere we've discussed that in the past. You're talking about the god men, not about the religion per se, not any religion per se, somewhere. So your movie is constantly coming into the picture. Recently, Abhijit, I don't know if we should talk about him either, but even he made, I think, very objectionable statement in his tweet. Does it bother you? Because the intention was something else, and the way it is being put forth is something else altogether.
See,
Tiwari has called him a traitor. Actually,
we had a whole episode we talked about after PK. And even on Aamir's statement, I've gone out and spoken many a times when it happened.
Right.
So that's all in public domain. What bothers me, if you say, is that if we are such a wonderful country, why are we not having the freedom to speak? We should have, as Maddie just pointed out, everybody's got a point of view, and you should respect that point of view, because that point of view is done in a very non-violent way. So when there's a violent reaction to a non-violent point of view, that is something which is bothersome. We picked up, to me honestly, Aamir said many things and out of context one sentence was picked up and highlighted. Yeah, so if you ask me very honestly, somewhere I feel that media should act more responsibly for our own nation's good. They have to be responsible. And now there's social media where, because people take that one line out of context, interpret and have an opinion. So I think everybody as part of this nation, for our own good, for the good of our nation, need to act more responsibly and non-violently. There's no need to be so aggressive.
And now Mr. Manoj Tiwari has apparently called him a traitor, which he's retracting, but news channels and newspapers, they are just confirming it, that in the meeting that he said that. Now, these are serious allegations actually.
But I feel, that's why I say media. If media chooses to ignore this,
that's better.
I think it's a bigger service media is doing to the nation.
So.
Exactly what
You need to, the moment you ignore it,
right.
We saw this during the protests during PK, that people used to come to the theatres to protest, would always call a newspaper or a
channels
before going there.
You've said that.
And when the cameras didn't come, the protest didn't happen.
Yeah, you've said that.
So
you've said that. It's
people
mostly
want attention. It is their little glory for a moment.
There are few people
when
who are constantly...
people sitting in their own homes who are unknown people, they go on social media as a moment of glory by criticizing somebody who's little known. So if the media chooses to ignore that,
that's better.
They are doing a responsible job. Is it serving a purpose by highlighting that? As Maddie pointed out, there are other far more serious issues to be tackled. Chennai में floods हो रहे हैं यार, उसके बारे में लिखो, लोग जाके मदद करें. But हम एक irrelevant statement coming from some irrelevant source, which is a negative, which is creating negative energy, is being highlighted. What purpose is that serving? If we are responsible, say we are not going to print it, then it will stop.
I think that's a very valid point. Okay, sir, we will slightly lighten up the atmosphere, and we are having this quiz actually. How well do you know each other? He has already played in the past with Kangana. That how much do you know Madhavan, and because you guys have worked, and how much Madhavan knows you. Sir, we will start with you. That which film of Madhavan had the song "Sach Keh Raha Hai Deewana"? Which film? "Sach Keh Raha Hai Deewana." It's a very famous song.
Yeah, just to let you know, he hasn't seen many films of mine.
Yeah. That's bang on. That's bang on.
Good guesswork.
In Tanu Weds Manu, name the holy place where Manu reveals to Tanu's father that he cannot marry his daughter, sir. Not bad at all.
Yeah, bad.
Because
he helped us with the film, that's why he knows.
In which town was R Madhavan born?
I don't know where he was raised. Jamshedpur?
Yeah.
Yes. 3 out of 3. That's damn good.
Good stuff.
Name the TV serial that featured Madhavan as a Ghar Jamai and Satisha as his father-in-law.
Ghar Jamai wali.
Ghar Jamai wali.
Arey, not bad, yeah.
I'm
doing very well.
4 out of 4.
Yeah.
That's brilliant, actually.
I know.
Who played Madhavan's mother in Rang De Basanti?
Vaidaji.
My God. That calls for an applause, actually.
Yeah.
That's 5 out of 5. So, Mr. Madhavan, you can at best equal him. That's about it. When is Rajkumar Hirani's birthday?
Oh, my iPhone knows it, right?
ये difficult question है, मुझे भी नहीं पता सर. अपना पता है, इनका नहीं पता.
His is June 1st, I think.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
515.
But we asked you that in Kangana's. That's all I remember.
अभी क्या सर?
वही November
Yeah, you're there.
20th.
So do we give him point?
आधा.
November, okay. Name the Ritik Roshan film that had Mr. Hirani as the editor.
I remember the film, Vidhu Vinod Chopra's film, which was मेरे को border I know it's not border, it is Lakshya.
That is Farhan's film.
Okay, then. Sir, can you give me an option because I'll tell you which one it is.
If I give you the option,
3 options दे दो मुझे.
I'll tell you. Tom Cruise. That's an option. That's a clue.
कहाँ से आ गया?
That's a clue.
नहीं, he is misguiding you.
No, I'm not misguiding you.
Mission Kashmir.
Mission Kashmir.
Thanks, brother. See, I knew that.
Yeah.
That's a good actually hint.
1.5.
The superstar was to do Munna Bhai MBBS but couldn't due to an impending surgery. Name the actor.
Shah Rukh.
Okay, 2.5 out of 3. Whose Ferrari does Sharman borrow or rather steal in
Sachin
Ferrari Ki
Tendulkar.
Sawari? 3.5 out of 4. Who played Mahatma Gandhi in Lage Raho Munna Bhai?
The Marathi actor Gokhale. I'm sorry, I don't know his name.
Mr. Kumar, Dilip Kumar.
ये बदमाशी कर रहा है.
No, that's a hint. Dilip
Prabhakar. Prabhakar.
3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, but okay, fine.
So, I think huge congratulations to Mr. Hirani. I think that we were not expecting him that he'll do so well. So we are having this this rapid fire with you guys as well.
All right.
We'll start with him if you allow now.
Yeah.
What do you prefer to be called as a Jodi breaker or Saala Khadoos?
Saala Khadoos.
A character you have played that's closest to your heart.
Farhan Qureshi.
One thing that your wife loves and hates about you.
My laid backness.
And what does she love about? The same
Both.
thing? Both.
Yeah.
Okay. If Rajkumar Hirani and Mani Ratnam offer you a film and the dates of both the films are clashing, which one will you choose?
Rajkumar Hirani.
All right.
मार पड़ेगी अभी चेन्नई जाके.
If you have to react to
Okay, मेरा प्रॉब्लम क्या है, ये वो 5 साल में बनाते हैं, आप 5 साल में बनाते हो. I have to wait for 10 years.
यानी dates का problem आएगा नहीं.
Dates का problem आएगा नहीं.
react in one word to the following critics. If you have to react in one word to the following
Yeah.
critics.
So,
If you have to react in
I
one
have
word.
the following words. Critics. Fun.
Solo travel.
Love. Phenomenal.
Boxing.
Grit.
Marriage.
Grittier.
Censorboard.
Wow. Efficient.
All right. So I think Mary has done extremely well. Let's admit that now. You have to really. You are the box office king, actually. So you are. If a
Rapid
biopic,
fire में नहीं, मैं 5 साल लेता हूँ यार.
if a biopic
Slow
is made on the following, what will it be called? Ranbir Kapoor. If a biopic has to be made on these guys, Ranbir Kapoor.
On Ranbir Kapoor. Handsome man.
Aamir Khan.
Thinking man.
Okay. Salman Khan.
Man.
Madhavan.
Burning Man.
R Madhavan.
Saala Khadoos.
Saala Pahlaj Nilani.
Censor man.
A Bollywood personality whom you feel like calling Saala Khadoos.
See, for here I have to explain. I have to go beyond one word. The conceptually what Saala Khadoos, though it sounds like that, what we meant by Saala Khadoos in the film is a mentor. Because a mentor is a guy who pushes you, who motivates you, who inspires you, but also pushes you so hard that you hate him.
Ji.
You love that person, also you hate that person because of that he pushes you through so much of fire that you become what you become. So as a coach, the girl calls him Saala Khadoos, but she finally admires him for that. So I think all of us have some Saala Khadoos in our own lives. So if I have to look back and look at the Saala Khadoos in my life, it's been Vidhu Vinod Chopra. For Maddie, he once said, for him it's been Kamal Hassan. So these are people who pushed us, inspired us, and hammered us.
Absolutely. It's very interesting how you interpreted your titles, because 3 Idiots the way आपने interpret किया था तो उसका भी idiot जो है compliment हो गया था उसके बाद.
Yeah.
All right. Other than Saala Khadoos, which film had the best performance of R Madhavan?
3 Idiots.
If you have to name another film which I had actually cast him in 3 Idiots after watching him do that small role in Guru. I found him very
I think it's
interesting,
very good.
the way
in
he
that.
played
Yeah, that's a very
journalist in Guru.
Yeah.
I really liked him then.
Yeah, that's really a very interesting character. Actress you'd like to feature in Sanjay Dutt biopic for the roles of Namrata, Priya, and Manyata.
Oh, we are actually in the process, and there's really no names at the moment. We're really going to start that process now.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. Actually, it's very difficult to just decide who's won this round, because these are very different sort of answers. Your are like very spunkier answers actually. So it's like both have won. I would say that both
competition.
have. There's no competition.
Non-competitive. All the competition is in the film.
Yeah, I know.
Any thoughts on Sanjay Dutt biopic, because he's getting released February 26th as well. 26th or 27th.
We are done with the script, and we're just playing Sanjay Dutt's role.
Right.
Rest of the casting production is yet to. So I'm waiting for this film to get over. Once this is out of the way, then we completely jump in that film.
Okay.
We would start around July.
This year.
Yeah, this year. So
Ranbir is playing
Ranbir is playing the role, and hopefully we should release end of next year. That is 2017.
Christmas.
Yeah, around Christmas we should.
2017.
2017. Yeah.
Great. What about you?
As usual, I have nothing. This is one film at a time, and then go back into hibernation, think of what step I have to take next.
Right.
This one actually is two films that I'm doing. So it's in Hindi and in Tamil. So to see that reach its final destination is sucking the marrow out of my blood. So I have to be hands-on. I haven't had time to listen to any other script or even meet people. It'll happen once I finish.
Okay, and do you feel there can be like a sequel to Saala Khadoos?
Yeah, why not?
I think your styling is looking very interesting. I must say that it's looking very interesting from the way you've been styled maybe in the last few of your films.
Yeah.
Somehow that thing stays in the mind. So I don't know. Sequel, I think he's a champion of that.
Yeah, and the styling is done by Rajuji because I think a lot of it had to do with the hair. I had built up the physique and everything, but he had a very interesting point. He said it has to be endearing. It can't be. He's such a rough and tough guy that the women are not able to relate to him. So one day he kind of just while we were doing the styling, he put his hand and brought it forward, and suddenly he had the look for Saala Khadoos, and that is became a talking point. For the sequel, we'll have to see how I look by the time the sequel is made.
I spoke to Mr. Chopra recently, and he said that you'll be directing Munna Bhai next series. Subhash Kapoor was announced earlier. So any news about that? Because once Sanjay is out, Arshad Varsi is hungry and eager to just get back into that circuit mode.
See, Munna Bhai, what's happened with us is that we made two. And then I wanted to do another one.
Munna Bhai
at some stage I started feeling that it's just all my life I'll end up doing Munna Bhai films. So from there we went out and made 3 Idiots. But now I am kind of going back. We wrote actually 4 or 5 different scripts in that period. But all of them would come to a point and lose steam. So with Munna Bhai, it's always, for that matter, for every film we want to do a great film. But with Munna Bhai, what has happened, whatever I write, if I feel I'm not able to match the earlier 2 films, then there's no point making that film.
Absolutely.
Then rather let those characters live like that. So fortunately for us, now we've kind of cracked an idea, which I feel I think it's even a little better than what we ever had.
Wow.
It's not
you're not good with talking about good stuff about
but
yourself.
I'm saying it's still, it needs to be developed and fleshed out, but something which is really exciting me and I want to do it. So I've told Sanju that once this biopic is out of the way, biopic you cracked it, now we'll go on floors. So after that one would like to do one more, at least I want to do one more Munna Bhai.
No, absolutely. So how do you just look at the entire phenomenon, that the way the years are passing, that movie, both those movies, they're becoming even more relevant and closer to people's hearts. We're having Gandhigiri being discussed in Indian Parliament.
I know they started doing it in Delhi now.
In the odd and even movement, they're giving flowers, rose flowers are being given to people. Now that's brilliant actually. So how do you look at this thing? Because if a movie is becoming even more special after
obviously it makes you feel very very happy, and that the right things have been picked up from the film and they're being used. So also it inspires you to do more films like that.
Absolutely.
So this one I'm attempting, I think, has a very unique trait. It's got a very unique story. It's just that we have to sit, apply ourselves and get that. And
absolutely.
We have to do that. I keep telling Sanju that. I know Sanju also is very excited with the story and he wants to do this. I keep telling Abhijat that we better write the script very soon. Otherwise Sanju will come out, shoot us both and go back.
And also tell him about the 3 Idiots also.
We also have hit upon an interesting idea about 3 Idiots also.
Sequel?
It's very, very nascent stage. It's a core idea, because you need to find that core. So we have some core idea.
With Aamir, Sharman and Madhavan.
With all of them. So, but it's too early to talk about it, or too early to, we don't even know sometimes, they go somewhere, they don't go where. But that also is something, if we can crack it, because we had great fun making that film, all of us, 3 of us together, Aamir, Sharman, Maddie, Baman, Omi, we had great fun. So that excites me, but the sheer thought of going back to the sets with the same team excites me.
No, must be. In fact, my elder brother, he doesn't watch Hindi movies at all. He lives in Dubai, and the last Hindi film that he has seen is 3 Idiots.
Yeah.
And he really liked it, and because he's mostly on the because he travels all across the world and stays in Dubai where you don't have that much of access over there. So I think that's a great news and wonderful, and looking forward to Munna Bhai series as well. And looking forward to Saala Khadoos for sure, excitedly. And honestly, altogether different perception about you from what it has been there in the last 2-3 years. And personally, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm so happy.
As a promo and the songs and everything. Thank you very much. Lovely talking to you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
That's all we have from Bollywood Hungama. Keep on watching.